Pokken Tournament is a Pokemon fighting game developed by the talent behind the Tekken series, originally for Wii U and arcades. Instead of just making a Tekken game with a roster entirely made up of Pokemon, the developers decided to go a different route by combining 2D and 3D gameplay. Pokken Tournament DX sports new content and a few quality of life changes to make the experience much better. But how much better overall is it? Pokken Tournament featured a story mode that had players go through many different leagues where they would face off against opponents to become the champion of Farum. However, a black Mewtwo is absorbing Synergy, a type of energy that the trainers use to power up their Pokemon in the heat of battle. So the player and the talkative announcer Nia must find a way to stop Shadow Mewtwo so that the Farum League can continue to use Synergy in its competitions. The story mode returns for Pokken Tournament DX with some improvements. Unfortunately, it manages to be very repetitive with very little character interaction. Nia is one of the two characters that have a major presence in the story, and she can be quite annoying. Her English voice is dreadful, but even if you change the voice acting to Japanese, that still doesn't change the fact she really doesn't offer that much as a character, and is completely forgettable. On Wii U, due to the small rosters, the amount of Farum League battles the player has to go through only showed how much of a small roster the game has. There was very little variety, and due to that, the story mode got very samey. However, on Switch, this is less of a problem thanks to the 5 new Pokemon added to the roster, bringing the total cast of Pokemon to 21 to choose from. The story doesn't change much, but at least there's a bit more to it. The most important change is that you no longer need to beat the story mode to unlock Shadow Mewtwo, so if you're just looking for a fight with your friends and nothing more, story mode can be completely ignored. Pokken Tournament's main feature is that doing a combo that results in major damage shifts the battle back and forth from 3D to 2D. The 3D sections play like an arena fighter where you start off from the opposite ends of each field, and when the game changes to the 2D mode, it plays like a traditional 2D fighter. An issue with the 2D gameplay is that the size of the field stays the same when the transition happens. So if a long-range character is able to shift the field from far away, it has a major advantage and may be extremely difficult to get close. Thankfully, not all hope is lost, as you can pick support Pokemon to cover some weaknesses your Pokemon may have or even enhance their strengths. Pokken Tournament's gameplay revolves around its rock, paper, scissors mechanics. Grabbing beats counterattacks beat attacks, and attacks beat grabs. This causes matches to revolve around mix-ups and mind games, which does reward the players for being more defensive than offensive. Though combos are devastating and flashy, if you read your opponent correctly, you're rewarded with high damage and synergy. Synergy goes towards your Synergy Burst gauge, which powers up your Pokemon when full and allows them to use a super move. Even cooler is when your Pokemon have the ability to Mega Evolve. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things since every Pokemon gets powered up, it just looks cool and adds to the thrill of the match. While the matches can be engaging, Pokken Tournament DX is not a game with a high level skill ceiling. Understanding the mechanics and learning combos requires little effort from the player, and its simplicity is a double-edged sword. All combos only require the use of 2, sometimes 3 buttons, while holding a specific direction. This simplicity can make the gameplay itself feel repetitive, which is problematic for a fighting game. Anyone can be good at Pokken, which means the truly skilled players will be the ones who can read their opponents and mix up their combos. Pokken is still a fun game to play, but its simplicity may turn off players looking for more. Those who were turned off by the lack of variety in the roster will be pleased to see the 5 new Pokemon all play differently and are very fun to use. Local play has been greatly improved, as the game now runs at 60 frames per second on one console, unlike Wii U, where you are required to use the gamepad as a second screen for one of the players, which have the frame rate. This change allows for tighter battles without the need for LAN play, though you can still use LAN in the new wireless mode if you so choose. A brand new feature that made me more engaged in the multiplayer matches was the new team battles. You and your opponents can choose up to 3 Pokemon to use at one time in battle, so if you're losing because your opponent has the advantage, maybe your other 2 Pokemon will excel at the matchup more and back up your main. This makes it feel more like a Pokemon game as well, since I'm building a team to cover my weaknesses. The only thing I would like to see is more options added, such as a way to change the time and how many support Pokemon sets I can use. The possibilities of team battle where you can choose from 3 support sets would make creating strategies fun by itself. This is the mode which I had the most fun playing and the one I kept coming back to for more. Pokken Tournament DX moves away from the anime style of the Pokemon series for a more realistic look for the Pokemon. None of the Pokemon designs are changed, but they have more realistic textures. For example, Suicune's realistic fur, and its crest actually looks like it's made out of crystals, something Suicune is associated with. Honestly, I'd love for this art direction to be used in the future installments of the core RPG series. It just looks really good. Even the arenas look great, with a lot of Easter eggs that hardcore Pokemon fans will enjoy. The improved resolution also makes the Pokemon models look sharp up close. However, the texture detail of your opponents look very blurry, which got distracting sometimes when I was playing casually. The visual and sound effects are flashy and robust, giving that extra oomph to that devastating combo. Not to mention how amazing some of these special moves look as well. One area that really falls flat is actually the soundtrack as a whole. There really isn't any tune that sticks out, and while that may not be a huge issue for a fighting game, it distracts from the atmosphere of the many arenas in the game. Overall, Pokken Tournament is a fun fighting game that is perfect for casual play. While there is depth and it can be a very competitive game, some players may find it too simple and repetitive. The art direction is great and the visual effects are a sight to behold. The new features are awesome and improve on some of Pokken's biggest problems on Wii U. If some of these issues were what stopped you from playing it before, then this is the best way to play Pokken. Though if you own Pokken on Wii U, paying $60 again may be asking a bit too much. And that does it for our review. To see the written review, be sure to check out our website, GamingGamma.com. A link to the review will be provided down in the description below. Also, if you have any comments or questions in regards to the review, please leave them down in the comment section below as well. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you're just finding me through this review, hey, be sure to subscribe and stick around for a while for future Let's Plays, reviews, commentaries, and more. We'll have a ton of fun here together. And if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that bell to be notified when I upload next. And as always everyone, thanks for watching.